Yo, what is up, traders? So in this video, I'm going to go over my exact entry model for the open range breakout trading strategy, specifically on gold here, XAUUSD. And I will say that this strategy is extremely simple. Anyone can do it. It happens at the same time every day. So if you want to potentially make your trading profitable, I would recommend watching to the end of the video. So the reason why my entry model is so unique compared to the standard ORB based trading strategy is because I have coded it and I have completely optimized it to the most recent market conditions. So what this coding allows me to do is to run millions of different entry model approaches and pick the best ones based off of the most recent market conditions. And I like to run 3-month backtest because I feel like that has the most recency with enough of a sample size for the number of trades. The problem with running a hard set entry model is that market conditions change and the market will go through different cycles throughout the year. So your strategy might run hot for 2 months and then it could run cold for 3 months, right? So I really like to always adapt to the current market conditions. And I know that sounds a little bit overwhelming. Don't let it sound too complicated. Let me deal with the optimizations. I have a lot of experience with that, but I just want to explain to you that's where my entry models come from. They're not just random. I'm not just making them up because they sound good. They're thoroughly back tested and they have a lot of proof of concept. So with that being said, if we go over to the VIP section in my Discord, I will show you this. I optimize every few weeks. I like to optimize or so. I just posted a new one today in the Discord here with all the conditions that I found during my back test. So I'll go over this one by one and we'll mark it out on the chart and I will show you how it works. And I also do it for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So if that's something you're interested in, I trade this live every morning. If you like stuff like that, feel free to check out my VIP Discord. I have a 5-day free trial as well. I'll leave it in the link of my description of this video. So the very first thing we want to look at is our open range candle is a 10-minute candle that forms between 9:30 and 9:40 a.m. Okay, so that's this candle I marked out. I'm on the 10-minute time frame here. So all I do, it's very simple. All I do is I mark the top of the wick and the bottom of the wick for that candle. Now this right here is my open range. And it's that simple. All right. And there's a couple things that I like to bring up on the chart just so I'm aware of them. The first one is VWAP. So VWAP is very relevant. Big institutions will actually use this indicator, surprisingly, right? So I have VWAP, and if you're going to pull VWAP on, all you have to do is type in VWAP, right? Volume weighted moving average, pull that up, and just make sure you're on the New York time frame. Otherwise, it's going to be completely different than what you need. So just make sure those settings are there. The other one I really like for this strategy is the open price. And now that's going to come up. That's going to be this blue line here. That's the price that the market opened at. So we have these two lines just to be aware of them. Now, let's go back to the entry model itself. Okay, so now that we've marked out the open range 10-minute candle that formed between 9:30 and 9:40, we have an event that needs to happen in order to enter a trade. Now, the event is based off the back test. We need 2 3-minute candles to close above or below the orb. So if I go back to here, if we have a 3-minute candle close above and one more close above, then we're going to go long, market order long. If we have a 3-minute candle close below and another one close below, then we're going to go short. If we have a 3-minute candle close below and then another 3-minute candle close inside, then it's canceled and we have to wait again for the trigger event to reset. So let's just go through this slowly together. We are going to let the candle play out here. Let's just go through. We have to go down to the 3-minute candle, sorry. Okay, so we're down at the 3-minute candle. We can see the open range. We haven't broken it yet. We can go again. Okay, there we go. So the event has triggered. We have closed below the open range. Now, all we need to enter a trade is one more 3-minute candle close below this line, and we are good to go. So let's see if we get that on the next candle. Boom. So that is the execution market order event. Okay, so how do we set up this trade? Great question. Okay, now that we know we need a market order, we are setting it up on the third candle open, right? Because we had our 2 3-minute candles close below the orb. So we're going to set it up like this. I'm going to take a short, right? We're going short right there. Now, where's our stop loss going to go? Well, the stop loss is a 5-minute ATR, okay? That's the level of my stop loss. That's what I've done on my back test. So we're going to go with that. So I'm going to pull up the ATR indicator like that. And then we look at this red line here, and we can see that it's sitting around, a 5-minute ATR. Sorry, we have to go to the 5-minute chart because it's the 5-minute ATR. So we go to the 5-minute chart, look at the ATR. So we are sitting around $2.3. So what I like to do is I like to round it up. So I'm going to be looking for a $3 stop loss, right? So we pull this up to a $3 stop loss like so. That's going to be my stop loss. Now my TP, it's going to be a 1 to 1.5 risk reward. So we pull that down until we hit there. There we go. And we can see here that we are running at a 1.5 risk reward for our target. You can also do a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2, depending on what you might need for your challenge. But we'll just go with the standard settings here, just because it's more simple. Now, a few things to be aware of before we take this market order. It's in real time, so you want to really prepare for this before the event happens. But the thing I like about this trade is I like to zoom out here, and this is what I do in my live trades a lot, is we'll do a quick analysis of the current market conditions. And we can see at the previous session, we had a really nice sweep high right here, and then we had some higher lows, right, which kind of signal bearish momentum, which is already a good sign for us. And I really like to be below the anchored VWAP if I'm going short, right? I don't mind going short if I'm way above the anchored VWAP, but the anchored VWAP is going to act like some serious support generally, as we can see here, and as we can see, right here a little bit too, right? So I don't like to run my TP through a major support level if I was hovering above that level. I would like it to close below before I went short, or just avoid the trade altogether. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this trade, this was one of the live trades that we took this morning, actually. And the only thing I didn't like was that my TP had to run through the open price. Generally, the open price can act as a major area of support. So we were just aware of that. But as I zoomed out, we could see that, there was a whole bunch of untapped orders in this area after this hard run up, right? So there wasn't much support levels other than the open price. So I felt like it was worth the risk for the potential reward. That's the entry model, right? 2 3-minute candle closes. That's as simple as it gets. And that's why I said it's a very simple strategy, but the back test itself shows that it has been very profitable, right? If we go to the Discord, we can see that over the last 3 months, it's done 28%, risking 1% per trade, which is very, very good for a 1 trade a day strategy, right? And I post all the backtest results there. If we go to the standard model, this is the standard model here of the orb, and it's made about half the profit as my model. So we can see how powerful optimization can be when we're trading strategies. So if we go back here, we'll watch this thing play out. I'll just press play on this thing. And we can see actually in the morning, I ended up hitting it on this wick, but we can keep it going in case, some people missed it. And we can see that eventually it does come down, smashing the TP just like that. Now, obviously it's not going to work out every time like that, but it has been working out like this much more often than not, especially, over the last 3 months, as you can see, right? So that's the entry model for gold. Now, I will do future videos on SPY and NASDAQ, and I'll also do future update videos on gold, and I'll send them out to, your emails and stuff like that if you're on my email list. But yeah, that's the entry model. So you can do what you want with that. And if you try it out, you can always let me know in my Discord. how it's been working out for you, or how you found success with the entry model. But other than that, that's everything. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace.